feel like this is a path that's already been laid for us by the royal family of Indonesia in their own country during the Civil War in the mid-60s. They released this information to their people for the good of their people to show them three main things. The first one, they wanted people to be able to empower themselves, to fill themselves up with their own energy and become a self-contained and self-reliant being that is not in a state of scarcity, that is not, willing to step on you to get what they need because they're already full. And in that space of being fulfilled, they could give. The second one was the ability to defend themselves. So the bad guys that are trying to hurt them, they could take care of themselves and not become injured. And that way they would be able to carry this message because they're still in good shape. And the third part was to be able to heal others. So if they did get injured, they could heal themselves and others, and they could keep carrying this light forward and creating more connection, because that connection truly is the root of everything. The Beatles said, all you need is love. But we need to be a little more specific, because love goes in a lot of different directions. It is the absolute truth, but if we can be more precise, we can get an even better result. And so the first part is self-love, learning to love ourselves, and then being able to give to others, because nothing feels better than giving, except for having that love returned. And in that way, I really feel like, how can we bring peace? The basic tenet has got to be to create connection, because the only thing that keeps us in a state of conflict, every dispute, every disagreement, has to do with separation. And how can we bridge that gap? It's really truly by tuning into ourselves, because how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself first? Well, you can't. But then also, how can you hate someone else if you don't know yourself? It really shouldn't happen this way, but this is human nature. And if we can create more self-love, we can create more love for the giving. And in that space, create the connection. And that connection is truly what their target was. If our people could see what we see, that we are all connected, that we're not separate, that when I hurt you, I'm actually hurting me too. Well, that would be a very, very different discussion to have between people that literally see that it's not us and them, it's us. I've always theorized that there's probably only one thing that can really do the full job for everybody. The full job would be aliens showing up and declaring war on us, because the enemy of our enemy is our friend, and a common enemy can draw people together. But what if the enemy is us? If we can just look inside and see that 99.9% of the answers are already here, and we can follow our guidance, because our guidance is always spot on and always do the best for everyone involved, how could we not succeed? And I don't know how I can share this, but I'm willing to share this in the highest integrity and try to give people a window into what they're actually feeling, because we're all just kids walking each other home. And there is more than enough abundance to go around. The biggest key is we need to change our values, and the values always stem from what's going on in here. So if we go differently in here, we'll go differently out here. And I hope that I can create a way that is easily distributed for the masses around the globe. I mean, my ultimate goal is to have this touch at least 1 billion people, and that 1 billion people have the ability to tune in, tap in, and turn on their own inner self and higher self connection. And in that space, realize that we're just a player in this game, that it is actually a game and it's here for fun. I think it was Alan Watts that was quoted as saying, man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun. And this is such an amazing, amazing, wonderful life. No matter what your circumstances are, there are so many blessings and so many things to be grateful for. Just the ability to do this is a miracle. And when we can tune into our own miracle, it's a lot easier to make miracles out there. So I don't have any massive plans to take over any world governments, but I am more than willing to share what I have found to be the shortcuts and the cheat codes to getting our true inner connection and being able to create cohesion and connection between all people and all things. And I just want to finish with one last part of this, because we're speaking both universal languages in Vibravision. The two languages that no matter where you go are always the same. First one is math, numbers. We know that numbers don't lie no matter what side of the earth you're on, no matter where you go in the universe, the numbers are always going to be the same.
Right.
The second is love. Doesn't matter what we look like on the outside, we're all wired the same on the inside. We feel love, we feel pain, we feel joy, we feel sadness, we feel. And that right there is truly the key. Feeling is everything. We make every decision based on our feeling. How does this feel to me? How does this affect me? What's going to happen if we're in a state of fear? We're going to make a different choice than if we're in a state of trust and faith. When we learn Vibravision, we literally tune in and tap into our higher self and that guidance in a totally different way that's scientific. And the top neuroscientist in the world, Dr. Jeffrey Fannin, at the time, he was in our school testing our athletes, and we did a lot of amazing things, but he downloaded this information to me, and you can look it up on Google. There's 100 different answers, but this came directly from the source of the top guy in the field at that time. And he told me that our autonomic nervous system and our total self is literally processing 40 billion bits of information at any one given second. 40 billion. But our conscious mind can only handle 2,000. So I looked at that like a bank account, since I'm thinking in numbers, and money it's not the root of all evil, but it's that universal language of math that is what causes the discrepancy, because people are not feeling like they're in abundance. Well, if I was a bank account and I had a choice of having 40 billion in it or 2,000, I think which way I would go. If I had the 40 billion, I would have a lot more to give. And in our awareness, our consciousness, and who we are as people, when you have a 40 billion bank account and you have access to it, you can do a heck of a lot more. And this is really a process of opening that connection and remembering who we are.